Hey folks, welcome back. Today we're going to take a look at unboxing Tales of the Arabian Nights. This is a classic game that has now recently come back into print, and I've been egging to get this game for so long. It's been out of print for ages, and I've seen it on the Dice Tower 24-hour marathon, and I've read on it. It just sounds great. Essentially, if you remember those books you might have read as a kid where you read a paragraph of text on an adventure and it would say, do you wish to go left at this turning or right? And depending which one you chose, you had to turn to a particular page and then you read that paragraph and you kept going until you eventually completed the adventure or you died. That's effectively this in a board game. So I am very excited to get this. I'm going to try and play it with some mates this weekend. This is effectively the end of January when I'm recording this, so they're going to visit for the first weekend of February. We're going to play this hopefully, and I'm going to try and get it to the table more often at the Games Club as well, because I want to do a review on this as soon as we hit March. This is one that I think everybody wants to know more about. But for now, let's get a move on with unboxing it. Now, this is heavy. I mean, oh god, there you go, see? Oh god, that didn't damage it too much. But yeah, this is a heavy box for what it is. I mean, we're not talking, I suppose we're not talking Terra Mystica or Caverna heavy, but it's a bit of a whopper. There we go. Bye bye, shrink wrap. Easier to get off than most. The legendary storytelling board game in the world of Aladdin and Sinbad. Did it always have a D in there? I'm not sure. I thought it was always Sin and Bad, but oh well. What do I know, hey? A nice chunky box. A bit like... Oop, here we go. So, yeah, very chunky box. Go with that. The reaction matrices. Now, the idea with this game is that basically, as far as I'm aware, I haven't actually played this, you find out whether you meet like a foolish thief or a hungry beggar or an evil witch, that kind of thing, and then you have to, it tells you which one of these matrices you're meant to look at. A, C, E, F, D, B, so they're all there. And then the idea is that depending on what you've met, like crafty, dangerous, destitute, diseased, disguised, drunken, dying, enchanted, blimey, there's a load. I mean, look at this. Beautiful, destitute, disguised. Okay, some of them do repeat, but not a lot of them. I mean, ancient, fabulous, glittering, guarded, blind, bloodthirsty, con, fearful, friendly, greedy, hungry. So, I mean, there's a lot of descriptions here. But the idea is that depending on what you want to do, whether it's beat, enrich, rob, avoid, question, attack, follow, hire, and over here we've got some new ones like grovel, aid, rob, avoid, converse, attack, court, abduct, honor, that kind of thing. You turn to a specific page, or chapter heading anyway, in the main book, and you read that as part of your adventure. So that's effectively how the encounters work, but I'll get onto that later when I find the book. This is just the rules of play, and I've got to say, yes, I like the artwork. So you can get there, you know, some classic sort of Aladdin-ish style artwork, a nice setup of the board with clear writing. They have, you know, they've gone for the, you know, they've gone for that type of font, but they haven't gone so mad that you can't read it. I've played Robinson Crusoe lately, and on some of the board they use the very old-fashioned calligraphy font, and it's a pain because you just can't read some of it. But Rulebook's not that thick. I mean, there you go. We're only talking that, and to be honest, I think most of it is down to pictures. And a little tear in the book already. Oh well, never mind. I suppose you can't win everything. That's just biographies of the various characters, which is good if you want to actually know more about who Shiralas. Let's go to an easier one. There we go, Alibaba. In case you want to know who he was, it will give you more details on him, and quite lengthy actually. So that's a nice little touch. I mean, game is basically theme in a box as it's advertised. So skills, effectively telling you how they work. The master skills. That's just credits and that. So okay. So the last 4 pages are just blurb and credits. So it's not exactly bad. And game end, a few FAQs, statuses. So I mean, this does look actually like a relatively simple-ish game, I suppose. I mean, it looks quite clear to read, so that should be good. But I can live with that. But I'm one of these people that likes the game to be in such mint condition when you get it, and it's just to have that But I suppose it's only the rulebook. You know, in the end, it's the game components. So let's have a look at some of them. So these are the skills that you can have next to your character. So bargaining and evaluation, beguiling, courtly graces, enduring hardship, piety, magic, luck. So there's quite a few of those. Some basic coloured counters there. I mean, there's a pretty nice production here. Oh, I'm not sure what all these are exactly for. Maybe that's a way to keep score or represent whether you've got something. But, you know, this is nice shiny punchboard cutouts there. I see. Story and destiny points. That's what they are. Okay. And, oh, God, there's even more on the other side here. I'm not sure what the difference in colour is supposed to represent, but hopefully I'll find out later. And then we've got, let's see, wealth, origin story. This must be like tracking tokens. You've got these, yes, the male and female symbols, because you can play a woman in this game for the particular guys. And you've got the stand-up guys themselves, which, to be fair, this is pretty good artwork. I really like this. It really is bringing out the theme. I'm just looking at components. So this is a very good start. Now, ooh, here we go. The board. Cool. That feels really nice as a board. It really does. Opens out into 4 bits. Let's see what I can do. Rip. And alley-oop. Here we go. Cool. Requires a little bit of a flattening down, but look at that. Look at that board. Looks beautiful colour-wise. And if I decide I want to, let's try and zoom into some of these bits here. So we've got Baghdad, the city piece. Zoom in over there. What does that say? Well, that's it. Let me see if I can focus on it. Adrianople, Constantinople. I know that one. So I mean, it's essentially a map of the board. So you're gonna cart your way around these various cities all over the place, and you'll get to do various encounters depending on where you end up. The edge of the board has these tracking. Various locations are obviously specific, hence they've got numbers next to them. So we've got the Lake of Colours, we've got the Dusky Land, we have the Undersea Kingdom, we have Damascus. Oh, Damascus actually got a real place in there. City of Brass. So there's quite a few sort of well-known locations if you know much about the lore of Arabian Nights. So far I'm loving this. Z-Man Games is really coming together with the components lately. I didn't used to like some of their component qualities, but they really are starting to come back out now. These are identical boards for every player by the looks of it, which is quite handy because it's effectively a reference chart to say what the available skills are, what the encounter reaction choices, that kind of thing. I don't recall seeing these though when Tom Vassell was doing his 24-hour marathon. So I wonder whether these are new in the reprint. I don't know. Either way, I approve. So I think this is pretty cool. If you don't want to hang around the reaction matrix all day, then you can at least just look at this, which is pretty good going. They explain the game setup, they explain the turn sequence, and you know they do the job as nice, and they really feel nice. I mean, let me get one of them individually. Thick cardboard, and you can tell from the sort of light flaring on it fairly often. You know, these are nicely done, really nice quality. To get this for around £40 was an absolute bargain. Oh well. Now here we go. The Book of Tales. God, there's where the weight comes from. Look at this. There's a giant book. Absolutely giant. Oh, filled with all this text. These are the chapter headings of 1706. You know, 1711. So we come at the start. We can have as low as 203, and then we come near the end, and we're talking 2,900. No, 2,600 tales in this book. This is going to last forever. I can't see how this is ever going to get dull. But I really want to get this to the table so badly. Squealing like a girl trying to get on with this game. Oh well, Saturday. I am so going to bring this out. I'm going to make this the first game we play with the mates. Honestly, they have got to play this. They used to like the same books I did in those adventure ones, so they're definitely going to love this. I'm not going to explore the book too much though. Just know that it is a giant book full of 2,600 tales, and I refuse to read any of it now because that would just be the ultimate spoiler. Why do that? Why ruin a good thing? Z-Man keeping up their tradition of putting in some bags, as if I didn't have enough of the things already, but I like it. I like that Z-Man does this. Most other publishers don't. One or two slip the net every now and again, but most of the time they just seem to ignore it, and I think they're useful. It's useful to have the bags. Some basic dice. Nothing particularly good about that. That looks like player stands for those really cool miniature things over there. Right, we've got 4 sets of cards. So, let's get into them one by one, shall we? Just borrow my knife back here and get into these. Why does everything have to be such annoying shrink wrap? Shrink wrap is the devil's work. No, really it is. I swear there must be something in the Bible about that. And ye created the shrink wrap, the devilish shrink wrap. No, I don't know. That's probably sacrilege that I'm talking here. Anyway, here we go. So, we're looking at treasure and quest cards. So let's have a look at the quest cards briefly. I don't want to give away too much. So, quest. Seek love. Your nightmare dreams of a woman beyond beauty are now invading your waking thoughts, but you have never seen her, nor has anyone you tell of her even heard of such a beauty. Finally, in a new dream, you gain a vision of her palace. She rules a land far from Baghdad. Why are you tortured with such incomplete knowledge of the one person you have to be your fated love? And then it has a various bit of text as to what happens when you're in a particular city and that kind of thing. And you've got some others for merchant, exiled, seek knowledge. So that's effectively, I don't want to spoil too many of these for you, but that's effectively what these quests are. They are a bunch of text and generic brown cards. I wish this thing would focus a bit easier, but you know, effectively you have angered a jinn, treacherous siblings, Call of the Wild. So that's effectively what these are. I mean, I don't want to read up too many of those because I'll be spoiling it for myself, and you know, I don't want to do that. So let's have a look at some of the treasure cards. Here we go, treasure. Again, very nice looking cards. And I mean, look at them. These are really nice. I think they're linen finish. I mean, the cardstock's not the thickest thing in the world, but it's nice, and they just feel really smooth. These are glide. Okay, they don't necessarily glide, but they feel good. But I have brought some sleeves for them, so they do feel a little bit thin. Yeah, that is quite thin. So I recommend getting some sleeves. I've got Mayday Premium. In fact, actually, if I can find the pack, bear with me 1 second. Right, and back. Yes, these are the ones I buy. These aren't plugging, but I just wanted to give you an idea of what size. So if like me, you buy the Mayday game ones and you like the premium sleeves, you want 57.5mm times 89mm. Or put it another way, these ones are specifically USA Chimera. Let's see if I can. Will it zoom on that? Or is it going to be? Yeah, there we go. USA Chimera. So that's the sleeves I was advised to get. And with this many packs, I had to buy 4 of these because I've got a few spare. So I think you need 5 premium packs if you are going to cover every single card. Obviously, you'll need less if you buy the ones that are in packs of 100 and are a little bit cheaper. Anyway, back onto the cards. So here we go, Brass Horseman, Brass Bow, Book of Hidden Treasures, Brass Trumpet, Cunning Idol. It's very good artwork on these things. What am I supposed to do with coloured fish? Seriously. Now, each of these you can see that there's basically a lot of lore text on them. I mean, it's quite small. So, warning to anybody who's got to wear glasses or has trouble reading small text, but they have that kind of thing. So, but again, this is thematic. This is what's great about it. And then you have the effect that it does, And of course, there are certain restrictions that you can only have a certain amount of wealth level with these. Respectable, poor, beggar, princely, that kind of thing. Fabulous. I am Emperor Fabulous. So there's various ones of these there. Oh, hairless ape is a treasure. Okay, fair enough. Whatever takes your fancy. Cold pot, magic beads, magic cakes, magic lamp. You know, yeah, what I was going to say is, this is Arabian Nights. What Arabian Nights encounter would be complete without a lamp somewhere, preferably with a genie, preferably sung by Robin Williams. Oh, come on. Okay, I know Robin Williams has done some weird films over time, but, you know, you got to admit, he was great as the voice actor for the genie, wasn't he? I feel like watching that film again now after unwrapping all this. There we go. So now we're on encounter cards. I believe you have to draw these to see what you find. And yes, these will correspond to spots on the board, I believe. And then it'll be a case that you meet a beggar or an ifrit or an ifriteh. Okay, so you get the male or the female one. That might change things. You get the enchantress, the hag, the hunchback, the ne'er-do-well. What's the ne'er-do-well? The prince, the princess, the prophet, the sage, the slave, the thief. Yeah, of course, it's going to be thieves. The wizard, the... What? Okay, fine. Okay, fair enough. We did have the hairless ape, so I suppose we need Ape Island as well. Barber, Crystal Palace, not the football ground. Then elephant. What? This is my encounter with an elephant. Okay. Oh, in the elephant graveyard where he came from. Fair enough. Islands of Camphor, lions, magnetic mountains. I mean, yeah, basically you've got loads of these encounters that you can potentially find, and you know, the variety in this game is obscene. Really, you've got that book of 2,600 tales. You've got the locations saying what you will meet. Then you've got what reaction you chose, because obviously, I mean, you've got like 8 reactions potentially in each chart, which means you could change the game so dramatically depending on what you choose to do. I mean, how awesome is that? Status cards. Now, sorry about the light. I am doing this in the evening, unfortunately. I am short on time. But here we go. Cursed, beast form, beloved, blessed, crippled, determined, diseased, enslaved, and ensorcelled? You've been put under... Okay, why don't you just say puppeted? I don't know, but envious, fated, grief-stricken, insane, imprisoned, lost, love-struck. So, I mean, yeah, there's basically what these are is that depending on what happens in the encounter, you might gain one of these, and there seems to be multiple copies of them, so I've just noticed a few have been repeated, so I'm guessing there's probably 2 of each. Effectively, they have, again, some more lore text. Let's see if I can focus on this particular one. There you go. You have fallen under a terrible curse with bad luck to follow you all the rest of your days unless the curse can be removed. And then it has a particular effect of what it does and then a way of losing it. And they're all the same in that regard. Now, the idea with this game, as you can tell, this is a story game, so you are supposed to play it like a story. So you've got to get into the way of reading the tales, in a sort of dramatic way. You've got to really get into the theme of this game. You've got to role play it, really. That's the sort of game this is. I mean, you shouldn't really think of it as a win or lose game, in my opinion. From the way I've seen it played and the way it's been described, I would just see it as an adventure. Laugh at what happens. Laugh at all the perils that, end up with your other players and yourself. That's the whole point. And, oh look, more status cards. This was in the 4th pack, so yeah, nothing new. It looks like there is 4 copies, at least, if not more, of each particular status, so you can have multiples of those. So that seems to be everything that's in Arabian Nights. I mean, I could go on for ages in detail about some of the stuff in this game, but I don't want to, because I don't want to spoil too much for everyone. I've already gone through some of the items and the quests and status cards, but I don't want to delve into, for example, this Book of Tales, because that is effectively a treasure trove of stuff, and I just don't want to spoil it. The whole point is that you've got this entire book to dig through, and I mean, it's got loads of text, spiral bound. Oh, look at that! All those chapters to read. And for £40, I mean, I got this for £40 with free delivery from Games Quest. And I think the most you'll probably be seeing this for, maybe with delivery now, is about £50, I would expect. I believe the RRP of this is £50. But, oh my god, for £50, this is nice. This is nice. And I'm now going to be so paranoid to let anybody handle it because of seeing that rulebook. And now worried that people will get smudgy fingers on the Book of Tales and that. Ah well, can't think about it too much. You can always buy replacements, I suppose. But, well, that is Tales of the Arabian Nights. Being able to unbox this is a joy because now it means that I can start sleeving the cards and getting it ready for the weekend when I cannot wait to play this game. I really cannot wait to play this game and see what happens when I beat the beggar, or enrich the evil witch, or let's see, hire the mighty Ifrit, or let's see what else is on that reaction matrix over there. Let me bring it out again actually, so you're not looking at red text. So let's see. I would like to bargain with the lovesick hag. There's so many combinations of this game. I cannot wait to get this out. I dread to think, if I play this game and I don't like it, I'm going to be so disappointed because I have been hyped up for this game for so long. And finally Z-Man have reprinted it. Thank you, Z-Man. Thank you for bringing it to the UK. Thank you for thinking of us at this end of the world. So that is my unboxing video for Tales of the Arabian Nights. I promise you there will be a review of this coming out in March, and I suspect, given the nature of this game, it will be a video review on YouTube because I think there's just so much to talk about this game, and if I do like it, you're going to want to hear how passionate I am about it, whether I like it or don't like it, in sort of video form really. I don't think I could do a written review of this. I just don't think it would do it justice either way. So for now I'm going to get on with sleeving this thing up and getting it ready for the weekend. But this is Luke Hector from the Broken Meeple, and you are watching unboxing video for Tales of the Arabian Nights. Thank you, and I'll see you soon.